There is a contingent that says they should, right? Instead of shifting to the right, which is a lot of this common wisdom, uh, they should go left. They should go hard left. They should go Bernie left or further. And my counter argument to that is like Bernie lost to Biden in the primaries, and if they wanted
Mhm.
Bernie, like Bernie should have. If that was the case, you'd think Bernie should have won the primaries. But and I get the 2016 thing was kind of different with Hillary, but that would be my case against that. In 2020, Bernie couldn't even beat Biden. So I was curious to get some of your thoughts on that kind of meme that's out there that they should go hard left.
Sure. I think there is some argument for it. One of the things that is worth sort of tracking is the classic question, which I think is done by Pew. Should government do more, or is government doing too much? And traditionally, during really since the Reagan era, we have seen that number. That's very consistently the view has been government does too much and shouldn't do so much. That's kind of the basis of the Reagan political compact. That number in the last few years has flipped, and the trajectory is going up. More and more Americans are saying government should do more. This does not necessarily mean that you need to adopt Bernie Sanders' policy position wholesale. But I think if the sort of natural instinct is, should government take a greater role? And again, we saw this. The thing that we saw most consistently, again, with the political heterodoxy of our panels last year, was people being not always, but substantially in favor of government interventions in ways that are both liberal and illiberal. The idea of government doing more pretty much across the board was sort of the order of the day, which was a fascinating finding. With specific respect to why Bernie Sanders has not didn't win 2020, and why kind of his political tendency has remained robust but not dominant within the Democratic Party. I think some of that is aesthetic, and some of it is they also, in their way, are frequently not, and certainly not everyone who subscribes to his politics or is associated with it. There's some very clear exceptions, including Zoran Mamdani and AOC, both of whom I think are kind of a different type of politician.